Welcome back, everybody, for NFL Week 5 predictions. I'm here with Justin. Justin, how's things going?
Pretty good, man. I can't complain.
Really, even after that last week performance by the Titans, and they
I
did not fire their coach yet.
the end of the video rant is coming. Stay
Okay,
tuned.
we'll stay there for that. Uh, so last week, both of us not the best week. So you started off on fire. And then last week, both of us went 2-4 out of the predictions. We did 6 games instead of 5. Overall, I am 8-8. Justin, you are 11-5. So that's looking pretty good, man. And you know, we were called experts in the comments section of our last video. Really, they're meaning you as the expert because I don't know
No.
nothing. And I thought that was pretty funny. I had to throw that out there just because it was a funny comment. If you haven't seen that comment, go check out week 4. Guy had a lot to say about us just being two guys talking about football here. But enough all that. Let's jump into our first game, which is the Ravens versus the Texans. And Texans coming off of a win against the Tennessee Titans, 26-0. Where the Ravens are coming off of a loss 37-20 on the road to Kansas City. This seems like it's going to be a pretty good matchup. It's going to be a close one because the spread right now is 1.5 in favor of the Ravens, but the match predictor is saying 56% of the people are saying the Ravens are going to win. What's your thoughts on this game?
I actually had this pick figured out yesterday.
Okay.
But then I heard the news today about Lamar Jackson possibly missing some time. We don't really know what that looks like yet, but he's dealing with the hamstring. But the Ravens, man, they have failed me in back-to-back weeks.
Mhm.
I've gone with them. Heck, I've picked them as the Super Bowl uh, representative for the AFC. But for a team that is loaded with as much talent as they have, man, it seems to me like they just have no idea how to utilize everybody. Now listen to this stat. I found this pretty amazing. The Ravens are 9-0 when Derrick Henry has 20 or more touches a game. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Against Kansas City, he had eight touches. Now, I know I might, I love Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
Titans
we
fan, he's a
know.
Titans
Yeah.
legend. But, he makes a difference in the game. Now, I'm not saying Lamar can. I'm not saying, any of these guys can't on the offense make a difference, but it's like sometimes you have to keep giving the ball to Derrick Henry even when it isn't working because eventually it's going to happen.
Mhm.
And the Texans, they won on Sunday. To me, though, it's nothing to get excited about. They beat who I believe is the worst team in the league. All right. And the Texans have their own issues they're trying to figure out.
Yeah.
No matter what, my pick yesterday and when I figured this out, I wanted to go with the Ravens. I'm still going with the Ravens,
Okay.
but I've changed my score. I think it's going to be a little closer. Do we know who the backup quarterback is? I believe Cooper Rush
Give me,
is who the Ravens backup is.
let me see
Uh,
here.
used to be with Dallas. Used to be in
Yep,
Dallas.
Cooper Rush.
Okay. Um, yeah, I don't know much about him to be honest with you. I think he did decent in Dallas when he had to fill in for Dak, but Ravens, get it figured out. Get it figured out. I think you're one of the best teams in the league, but for whatever reason, there's little hiccups that cost them the game. Regardless, I'm going Baltimore.
All right. Well, way to start off this episode. Because of the news of Lamar, I'm going the opposite.
Okay. The
Okay.
upset.
So listen here. Okay. The Ravens defense is one of the worst defense right now in the league.
Okay.
In 3 out of their 4 games this year, they have allowed 37 points or more. That is awful on defense. And then we also know like Lamar and them are moving the ball. And Lamar kind of let me down last week because I did talk highly. That's one of the comment there. The guy was saying that I was too hyped on Lamar. Still think Lamar's good. He threw his interception against Kansas City. He threw his first interception, and then right after that, he had like it was two delay of games and then an intentional grounding all in the same series. Like what are you come on, Lamar, get it together. And like you, I don't think the Ravens are using their players correctly yet. And the only thing I'm worried about, I am going to go with the Texans. Yes, they shut out the Titans, but the Titans are 0-4. But I think that I'm leaning towards that because Lamar is out and it's Cooper Rush. I think that Cam Ward's better than Cooper Rush. Maybe and that line for the Ravens isn't doing great. I feel like Lamar, especially against Kansas City and everything, he had to get out of the pocket a lot. But on the flip side for the Texans, what is their offense going to do? Stroud has 4 touchdowns, but has 3 interceptions on the season. So it's not the best. He has 832 yards on the season. He had a good game against the Titans. But again, like you said, you're saying that they're the worst team in the NFL. You're saying the Titans are. Stroud did throw for 233 yards against them, but before that, he didn't. In their losses before that, like the Texans aren't putting up points. But I think this is going to be a low scoring one. I'll go ahead and put my numbers out there. Yes, it is being played in Baltimore, but I think that the Texans are going to win this one 17-13.
Okay. I am going when I had Lamar in the game, I was gonna go 27-14 Ravens,
Okay.
but with Lamar being out of the game, I still think the Ravens find a way to win, and if they don't, do not fail me 3 weeks in a row, Baltimore. Come on. I'm going Ravens 20, Texans 14.
Okay, so another like a close one, a pretty close one.
Yeah.
A possession game. I do. I think that I I think the Texans can get it done. But before we move on to the next game, I think that we're going to see Derrick Henry have over those 20 carries. So that stat is going to stick with me now that you said that, and it almost makes me want to change my prediction. But I'm going to stay with it. I'm going to stay with the Texans, see if they can continue on with their with what they did against the Titans. But yeah, if Derrick Henry, they're going. It's going to be heavily relied on for Derrick if Lamar doesn't go. He is doubtful. That is what the injury report on ESPN is saying, is he's doubtful. So we'll see.
Well, and if any team kind of has a history with Derrick Henry, it's Houston. I mean,
Um,
Houston used to have to try to come up with a game plan to defend Derrick Henry twice a year. Um, so maybe they do come up with something, but I would have to think that you're right. He's going to have 20 or more touches this game because they are going to need to rely on something. And no matter if somebody wants to come into comments and like kind of dismiss Lamar Jackson because he had an off game against the Chiefs. It is the Chiefs.
yeah, yeah,
Um, and even looking back to the game where they played in Week 1 against the Buffalo, like the Ravens have played some teams so far.
they have.
Uh, but I think Lamar is still, he had an off game. He was rushed. I mean, they were putting the pressure on him,
Hmm.
and he ended up hurt in it. So I definitely think Baltimore is going to have to turn to the run game this week.
Yeah, and also I think another stat to throw out there, I heard today is that the percentage drops significantly for a team that is 1-4 to make the playoffs. Like I think that like 2 teams or something like that has ever done it. I think it's something like that. Don't quote me on that, but I mean the percentage is very very low for them to make the playoffs if the Ravens lose and they're 1-4. But it is the Ravens, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. if they can get it together and they start balancing out the run and the pass, the Ravens could be that team that, go all the way, like you said. Now we're moving on to our 4:05 p.m. game. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Seattle Sounders, not the Sounders. Oh my goodness, the Seattle Seahawks. Wow, that hopefully I'm definitely going to cut that out. Uh, maybe not. Give everybody a laugh there. So
Yeah.
the Buccaneers are coming off of a loss there at home against the Philadelphia Eagles, 31-25. It is the Eagles, though. We got to leave that there. Where Seattle went on the road against Arizona and won 23-20. So it was a very close game. This one is being played there at Lumen Field, which is the same place that the Seattle Sounders play. Just throwing that out there. So, what is your thoughts on this matchup?
So both teams are 3-1, and that's Seattle being 3-1 is more of a surprise to me than Tampa. Both are playing pretty good football heading into October, but outside of his interception on Sunday, Baker Mayfield outperformed the Super Bowl MVP Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you eliminate that interception, but Seattle, they have a solid defense. They are second in the league in turnovers, sixth in sacks, and they have yet to allow a rushing touchdown. We've talked over the past few weeks that we really like what Baker's doing in Tampa, but with Seattle being home and this defense, I got to go with the defense at home.
Oh, okay. That was pretty much the same way. I was leading. The only thing for me is I know that Darnold has he does have 905 yards already on the season, 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Baker Mayfield, 8 touchdowns, 1 interception with 904. Like you though, Seattle's defense is like they're playing as though like that. I feel like that's what Seattle's known for is their defense. Even when Russell Wilson and them were there, like that defense was so good. And I think we talked about that at one point last week
Mhm.
or the week before, something like just remembering, Richard Sherman and Chandler and stuff on that Seattle team. Yes, those guys are long gone, but that is what we're seeing with that defense. I like both of these teams. This one I think was probably my hardest one to pick
I
out
agree.
of all the games because I like what, and only losing 31-25 to the Eagles. Yes, you're at home. The Buccaneers it's too close of calls for me also leading up to this game. Like they only won 29-27 to the Jets. And I think I talked about this last week in the video. Like they're only winning by 1, 2, 3 points. Well, you can't do that against the Eagles. You can't come back in the second half or the fourth quarter because that's usually what it is. So to me, I have to lean with you. I think if this game were at in Tampa, I would maybe lean towards Tampa, but it's there at Lumen Field. That team, the crowd's going to be crazy. Lumen Field is just an awesome atmosphere when it comes to that. So with that, I don't know too much about their offense. Like I said, Darnold 905 yards passing, Walker with 244 yards on the ground so far this season. Maybe that might be a difference, but I think the defense is going to come up big. And I think Seattle's going to win, just like you said.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I think, and also Seattle is known, like their fan base, man, they can get loud.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I've even heard back during those days with the Legion of Boom,
Mm-hmm.
or is what they called it. Uh, they had, the fans would get so loud that I'm pretty sure that like the way that the stadium is designed, like it kind of like comes up. So like everything that's yelling is like straight down
Mm-hmm.
towards the field or something like that. And I think, Seattle's fans, they're excited. They have something to be excited for. And like you, I don't know much about the offense, with Sam Darnold and all that, but I have kept my eye on this Seattle defense, and I think they are really good, and I think they get the job done.
So what is your score prediction in this one?
I am going. Let me think here. I was going to. I kind of wanted to go with a lower
Mhm.
like score, but I don't know. Something's feeling. I'm feeling the change right here. I'm feeling it, and I'm gonna go Seahawks 20, Buccaneers 17.
Oh, okay. So that's still, to me, that's still kind of low scoring because Seattle did put up 44 against the Saints. They put up 31 against the Steelers, but only 23 against the Cardinals. I have to say that I think it's going to be a low scoring game, and I think it's going to be Seattle 17 and the Buccaneers 14. I think it's going to be a 3-point game. I think it's
Yep,
going to be
me too.
really close, but maybe it won't be. Maybe we'll see some more, but I think the Buccaneers won't score over 20 for sure in this game. Like I know that we
Mm,
we are throwing out score predictions and how often are we going to get that perfect? But I really
right.
think this Seattle team will keep them under that 20. That's what they've done so far this season. Yes, Arizona put up 20 on them, but the other two games both under 20. And I think that they're going to do that against the Buccaneers. I like Baker. I think we're both high on Baker this year, and we think
Yeah.
he is fantastic. But this defense might be something else. Now, a little bit later, we have a 425 start, and that is the Washington Commanders versus the LA Chargers. But Washington 2-2 on the season, LA 3-1 on the season. Washington coming off of a loss on the road to the Falcons, 34-27, and the Chargers are coming off of a loss on the road against the Giants, 21-18. How you feeling about this one?
Very weird week last week in the NFL. We had the tie.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? 40-40?
Yeah.
What?
Well,
40-40 tie. Um, then you've got the Chargers losing to the Giants, which if we had picked that game, I never would have
yeah.
picked the Giants over the Chargers.
Same here.
Jaguars beating the 49ers would have never picked that. It was a weird week.
Mhm.
And, you know, Daniels is expected to be back for the Commanders this week, I believe.
Okay.
Mariota has led them over the past 2 weeks to a 1-1 record. But the Giants, in that game with the Chargers, man, they rushed the heck out of Herbert, and it was enough to rattle him, and they got the job done.
Mhm.
But the Commanders, to me, they have a more inconsistent defense. I believe, I believe Daniels will show a bit of rust this week
Mhm.
with his return. So I'm going to have to go with LA.
I agree with you on that one. The odds are they're giving Washington a 2.5 point lead at the beginning. 50, well, really, we'll just say 60% of people or the match predictors saying that the Chargers are going to win this one. And I'm going to have to agree with that. Daniels is coming back. We don't know what he's going to look like. If he, I don't even think it says he's like questionable or anything. So it looks like he is going to be playing. But I like Herbert. He's already thrown for over 1,000 yards already through the first 4 games. Uh, I think that them losing to the Giants on the road was kind of a fluke, to be honest. I think that it could have been one of those things we've talked about before, like they just overlooked them, maybe. I don't know. Like you said, though, the defense rushed Herbert. Maybe the Commanders will do something similar. We'll see. But I think that Herbert is a good quarterback. I think that he has a lot of talent. And I also think this defense for the Chargers, I think we talked about them at the beginning of the year, and they're looking pretty good. Uh, yes, they only allowed 21 against the Chiefs there in Brazil. Then they only allowed 9, and then 20, and then 21. So they are right around that 20ish mark. But I think that once they continue playing, I think after this week, we're really going to see how teams play and who's really going to be dominant. And I think that we're going to see this Chargers defense become a little bit more dominant, and they're not going to slide 2 weeks in a row. They're just not.
No, we're through the first quarter of the regular season, and we're starting to see things shape up. And I did say, last week we did see some weird things in the NFL, but I mean, even going back to talking about Lamar, like these guys they're consistent, but they are going to have games
Mhm,
where, you know, the the other team just outright has a better plan,
mhm.
a plan like to call the game, and I think the Giants did that well when it came to Herbert. And like I said, they got the job done. But for this week, I think the Commanders try to replicate something like the Giants did, but the defense too inconsistent for me. That's why I feel like Herbert and the Chargers are going to pull this one out.
And that's also like going back for the Chargers against the Giants. They started Dart. That's his first start. So like
Yeah.
you were game planning for someone else to start at quarterback. You didn't know what this kid was going to do. Like, yeah, he only had one touchdown, threw for 111 yards, but like that still changes up the whole offense. You know what is going to happen uh differently than what it was, prepping for the Giants. So that is kind of something you can throw out there because that does change because you just never know when something gets thrown at you. One of the biggest things that I remember it being thrown at someone is when the Dolphins came out against Tom Brady and the Patriots, and they literally changed up their whole offense and had Ronnie Brown play quarterback pretty much the whole game and just ran the Wildcat. Like they weren't ready for that. So I would say that kind of happened maybe for the Chargers. You can say whatever you want about it. It could be a little bit of an issue in why they performed the way they did, but I don't think that they're going to let it happen 2 weeks in a row. And I'm going to say that Chargers probably win this one pretty easily, and I think that I would say it's going to be like a 27-14 final in favor of the Chargers.
I like that. I'm going to go a little closer. I'm going to say the Chargers win this game 24-20.
Okay, so that is a pretty close one. I mean, I don't know. And if Daniels can pop off after the injury, I could see it being that close, but
And it could happen.
it
It could
could.
happen.
It could. Having that much rest. Because what was his injury? I don't remember what his injury was, and that's pretty bad that I can't remember what it was off the top of my head. Do you remember what
Me
his
neither.
injury was?
I don't know why I want to think it had to do something with his leg, but
I would say that's probably what it was, most likely. But
yeah.
all right, so we both agree on that one. Chargers to
Mhm.
beat the Commanders. Now, that leads us into Sunday night football. We have the New England Patriots versus the Buffalo Bills. The Patriots 2-2 on the season, 1-0 on the road. The Buffalo Bills 4-0 on the season, 3-0 there at home. Patriots are coming off of a home victory versus the Panthers 42-13, handling business there at home, and then the Bills playing the Saints, beating them 31-19 there in Buffalo. What's your thoughts on this one? Also, are the Bills, when does the Bills' new stadium open? Do we know?
I want to say maybe the same year Tennessee gets theirs, and I think that's 2027.
Okay. For some reason, I had someone tell me that I know someone that went to the game last week and they were saying that it was the
Oh, okay.
last game. And I was like, I don't think that they're going to switch stadiums in the middle. I could
Not
be
in the
wrong.
middle of the
Yeah, in the middle of
season,
the
right?
season. I don't know. So just thought I'd ask you because I feel like this person, I don't feel like
Uh,
knows football. So,
I looked it up, and this says that it will open July 1st of 2026.
okay. So next year, uh,
Yeah,
before the season starts. So,
yeah.
okay.
So now we covered the Dolphins last week, and we talked before we got, or I think maybe at the end of our conversation about their uniforms, the black.
Okay. Yep.
Um, you look good, you play good. All
Mm
right.
hmm.
And they
Mm hmm.
pulled the win off, right? I don't know if you got to see the Bills uniforms for this game coming up.
Is it also
They're white. I think well, I saw the helmet. It's like a white and silver.
okay.
Man, they're nice. I like them.
Oh, yeah, here,
You
yes,
see them?
the all white, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are sick.
Now,
Look good, play
I
good.
that's right. That's what I'm saying. So the Patriots, they looked good last week against Carolina, putting up 42. But it's Carolina,
Yeah.
and the Panthers are stuck in the mud, and Buffalo's still undefeated despite struggling with their defense.
Hmm.
And I think by midseason we're getting there. We're getting there. I think they figure it out all the way. They really have nothing to complain about when you're sitting there at 4-0.
No, you can't
But
complain about anything really.
there's no way, in my opinion, that New England has an answer for this Bills offense though. The offensive line is top 3 in the league. Because of that, they lead the league in rushing yards per game. And Josh Allen's back there doing his thing. I gotta go Buffalo, man. I gotta go Buffalo.
I'm with you. Yes, what a performance for the Patriots to get the job done there at home against the Panthers. But again, you handle business against teams that aren't in the same league as you, and that is one they are not. Panthers are not. But you lost to the Steelers the week before. We got to throw that out there. So just not not the greatest, and they're inconsistent. It's like loss win, and if they follow that trend, they're going to get a loss here. But they don't go. You don't really go off that. They're in New York, like you said. I mean, freaking Cook has 401 yards on the season on 75 carries with 5 touchdowns. When you can have a running game and have Josh Allen as your quarterback, hold on. That's all you can do. I don't know how
Yeah.
good the Patriots defense. I don't know where they rank among other defenses, but I just don't see with it being in New York. Maybe there's more of a conversation if it was in New England. If it was at Gillette Stadium, there might be more of a
Mhm.
conversation that okay, maybe the Pats could pull it off. It's in New York. The Bills are going to have no problem walking away with a W.
A division game.
Mm-hmm.
I've always believed that division rivals always have a really good, chance to upset each other, because they know each other best.
Mm-hmm.
But in this situation, I just don't see it happening. I think the Bills handle business at home, and I think they do it pretty well, winning 31-17.
Oh, you think it? Wow, that's a big one. See, I think that because of it being a division, they both know each other. I think it's going to be a close one. And I think
Mhm.
it's going to be 27-24 for the Bills winning this one there at home. Trying to look at, there we go. Defensive, I was trying to look at different stats. So to see where, you know, the different leaders are for the teams there. So yeah, Buffalo Bills are averaging 163 yards on the ground. So not not bad, and they are second in offensive leaders as in yards per game at 404. And what's funny is the Cowboys are beating them with 404.3. So
Mm.
by point three, the Dallas Cowboys are averaging more yards than the Bills. So yeah, definitely the Bills in this one over the Pats. Now that leads us into our Monday night game, and this is actually a looking at the record wise, this is going to be a good one. That is the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Jacksonville Jaguars there on Monday night. Kansas City 2-2 on the season, Jacksonville 3-1, and they are 2-0 there at home. The Chiefs are 1-1 on the road. The Chiefs are coming off of a good victory against Baltimore there at home, where Jacksonville are coming off of a road victory against the 49ers 26-21. How you feeling about this Monday night game?
So I'm not going to drag this out. I'm just going to tell you the Jaguars are blowing my mind. Okay.
Okay, okay,
But they aren't beating the Chiefs.
okay.
Okay. Sunday, we saw the Chiefs that we know
Absolutely.
handled Baltimore, man.
Mhm.
And Mahomes had 4 touchdowns, not a single one to Travis Kelsey.
Nope.
The guy is killing my fantasy league. Okay. And you know what? Let me also say this. I believe Kelsey actually had the second most receiving yards of the game. But I find it very odd, and maybe it's because, when Taylor Lewan was still playing for Tennessee
Hmm.
and he started the podcast Bussin' with the Boys, when it was football season, he was off the show.
Yep.
And I
Concentrated.
find it very weird that Travis Kelce is still doing his weekly podcast during the football season.
Hmm. And have you noticed people also talking about like he's still doing different like endorsement things too during the
Yeah.
season?
I think he's distracted. I mean, he is getting older,
Hmm.
and it's just, I mean, that's human nature. The older you get, you tend to lose a step. But I also think I think he's got a lot going on.
Hmm.
And I think he needs to, and this is all just criticism. Like, I'm nobody. I'm just telling you what I think. But I think he needs to focus on the game. I mean,
Yeah.
if he really wants one more Super Bowl before he ever calls it quits, he's got the quarterback, man. They've got the coach, they've got the team. But I think he definitely needs to, and I'm not just saying it because he's on my fantasy team, but um, he's got to step up,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
And I think we saw a little bit of that. Like I said, I think he was second in receiving against Baltimore,
Hmm.
but I don't know. I don't think Kansas City's defense really, they haven't been an issue for their team. It was the offense trying to get things figured
Yeah.
out.
Hmm.
And Sunday they were clicking on all cylinders. Even though they are in Jacksonville, they'll be playing in front of a half emptied stadium because
Okay.
it's Jacksonville. Okay. And I think the Chiefs fans fill it and potentially make it a home game.
You think so? You think they're going to travel like that?
Oh
Okay.
yeah, they travel well.
They do
They do.
travel well. So, like you said, Travis Kelce was second in receiving. He had 5 receptions for 48 yards, which he averaged 9.6 yards per catch. Pat Mahomes threw 4 touchdowns against the Ravens, and the Ravens defense not bad, I guess you could
Well,
say.
they
They do allow 30. I did say earlier they allowed 37 points per 3 out of the 4 games. So
mhm.
I don't know. But like you said, this is the Chiefs that we know, and they're kind of back. Playing against the Ravens, that's a hyped game because it's the Ravens. Like we can see this matchup in the playoffs,
Mhm.
and Kansas City came out and handled business. They knew what was happening, and they did it. My biggest concern with Kansas City is their running game. They have no run game, so it's all Mahomes throwing all the time. But whenever you can put up 37 points a game, in last game, and they struggled before that. They put up 27 against. No, sorry, looked at the wrong thing. They put up 22 against the Giants, put up 17 against the Eagles, 21 against the Chargers, and they were struggling in those games. So I think that against this Jacksonville Jaguars team, they're averaging right in the middle of everybody for offensive yards, like total offense. They're averaging right in the middle of the pack of the whole league in defense. I think I agree with you. I think Patrick Mahomes and company are going to go into Jacksonville and get the job done on the road. I think and all things are pointing that even the sports books, they're giving Jacksonville a 3.5 point start right off the bat, even at home, even with a 3-1 record. And 62% of the people are saying that the Chiefs win it. I think I have to jump on board with that. Also, Trevor Lawrence has 4 interceptions on the season already and only 5 touchdowns. That ratio is not all that great. And to be honest, and this is just my opinion, and maybe some people will come at me, I don't think Trevor Lawrence is all that great of a quarterback. And maybe it's because he doesn't have a lot of talent around him. I don't know how good their offense is. This is just that the Jags are just a team that I don't watch or keep up with. Never really cared about them. You know more than I do about them because of them being in the same division as the Titans. Never really cared for them, never really watched them, but I think this Chiefs team is back to the team that we know, and they're going to go and get the job done.
Let me talk about the Travises, okay? Not Kelsey. I want to talk about the Travises on the Jacksonville side. I like Jacksonville's running back, Travis Etienne.
Yep.
He had a really good game against the 49ers. I believe he had, I wrote it down here somewhere, 124 yards that
Yep.
game. And man, I think he is really solid. Now let's talk about the other Travis, and that's Travis Hunter. I don't know if you saw or not, but he was benched on defense. Remember, he was supposed to come into the
Yep.
NFL. He's going to play both sides of the ball.
Hmm.
Dude, I just don't think you can do that in the NFL.
I
I just don't think, you know,
maybe here and
it's,
there, maybe here and there,
yeah.
but not continuously.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen it. You see it in high school.
Mhm.
Heck, you played football. I played football. We had to do that stuff.
Yep.
We didn't have enough players sometimes that we actually had to end up playing both sides because of it. But it's high school. And then, if you find certain ones to do it in college, that's fine. But we have seen, and there is multiple different examples that prove how different the NFL is from the college game.
Hmm.
Things that work in college, they don't work in the NFL. We've seen it with coaches that come in, these college coaches and try to run these different formations, and it just doesn't work. And I'm not taking anything away from Travis Hunter.
No,
He did play on offense, and I still think he is a super talented guy and can really make a difference for Jacksonville.
and I think he
But
will. Sorry, I didn't
I
mean to
do
cut you
too.
off, but
No,
yeah, I think
no,
he
you're
will.
good. Yeah, I do. But Trevor Lawrence is, I don't know. I find him to be very mediocre.
Yeah.
I don't find him to be a big playmaker. Maybe if they surround him with enough talent, yeah. I mean, they're winning.
Yeah, 3 and
They're
1.
doing
Yeah.
well. They're better than my Titans, but I do. I think Jacksonville. They're blowing my mind, but no way they're beating Kansas City this week.
I like it. Yeah, Travis Hunter had 3 receptions for 42 yards in their win against the 49ers there on the road. So, not a bad performance, not a
Not
great
bad for three.
yeah, for 3, he was averaging
Just
I
three
think
catches.
it was he averaged 14 yards, I think it said, uh
Hmm.
per catch. So, that's what you need to do, but I feel like, if they are going to take that next I feel like they're going to have to target him more, especially if they're not going to have him play defense. They're going to have him play offense. Because see, at first I thought there was talks at the beginning of the year he was just going to play defense, more defense than offense. Was I hearing that correctly, or was that a talk, or
No,
am I just making that up?
no, I kind of feel like I've heard both.
Hmm.
Like I heard some people reporting he was going to be more of an offensive, threat than a defensive threat, and then I heard that they were going to try to 50-50 it, and now apparently he's been benched and on the defensive side of the ball. So I honestly I don't know if they even know
Yeah,
what they're doing going forward.
and maybe they're just trying to figure it out. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a rookie. We're 4 games into his rookie year,
Yep.
so you got to find what. And I think that Hunter, I like Hunter. I've watched. I didn't watch him much at Colorado. Obviously, we saw all the highlights and stuff when he was there and what he did. Hell of a player.
Mhm.
But I have seen some of his videos of him, like personal videos, on social media and stuff, and like just what he kind of like stands for and stuff. I like it. I'm here
He's
for
a
it.
good dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I really hope we get to talk about him for years to come, and hopefully he performs well enough to be a Hall of Famer.
Yep.
I think with how much work he has put in and how he is, and as long as he stays humble, I think that he deserves it. So see bright spots there in Jacksonville, but for me, I got to go with the Chiefs. And I guess for our score predictions here, what do you have for this one?
I'm going 10 points, and I'm going to go with Chiefs 30, Jacksonville 20.
Okay. I like that. I am going to go kind of close with that. I'm going to go 31-24. Chiefs
Okay.
winning there on the road against Jacksonville Jaguars. So that is all of our games that we're picking this week. Tell us down below what your picks are. But before we go, we got to hear this rant, man. We got to hear before we get into the Titans because of how disappointing they are. I'm excited for my Dolphins. I'm excited that yes, it was the freaking Jets that we played against, but the Dolphins actually looked fairly good, and I thought that they played a very well-rounded game. I thought that I always said that this is why I wanted to bring up the Dolphins game, because I said for Tua to succeed, we need a running game. The Dolphins had a running game. We had 123 yards rushing against. Yes, it's the Jets. I know, but it's proven my point. If you can rush for 123 yards, just over 100 yards, that gives Tua enough to be able to do play action. And he also looked better under center than what he did in shotgun. If you watch the game, to me, that's what it felt like. Tua went for 177 for 2 touchdowns. Not a great game, but whenever you have a running game, it takes that pressure off of him. And I think that if we can continue to have a good running game, we can see this offense put up points. Yes, even though Tyreek Hill will be out for the rest of the year. Hopefully he gets better soon. I know that I saw reports that his recovery is going to be almost 2 years because of how much damage was done to his knee. So hopefully he, gets better soon. Hopefully everything goes well, because that looked awful. But
They're saying, like, it is a great loss to lose,
mhm,
Tyreek, but another good thing is, like, you have another solid receiver in Jalen Waddle.
yep,
And I think he can. Man, I know you never want to, like, Tyreek Hill's one of a kind,
mhm,
with his speed and everything, and you hate to see that happen to him, because with that type of injury, man, you already have so many people that are just like, that's curtains, man. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Close the curtains on the career. What a career. He'll never be as fast as he once was. He'll
yeah,
never be, and that's what we're hearing right now. Now only time will tell,
mhm,
once we go forward. But man, he really is such a, like, explosive player, just so fun to watch. And it was you that had sent me that clip. I wasn't watching the
yeah.
game at the time that it happened, and when I saw it, like, oh
Oh,
my
I
goodness,
know.
man.
I know that. I wanted to send it to you, but then didn't want to, because man, it was kind of gruesome looking,
Well, I
to be
think we all
honest.
thought at first that his leg broke. They
Yeah,
snapped his leg, and
yeah,
because the way that it looked, I mean,
yeah.
that thing was, it's
It
not
was
supposed to go that way.
it was like a 90-degree angle in a way that it's not supposed to be a 90-degree angle.
Yeah, and man, we talked about, when you sent that to me, we talked about adrenaline,
Yeah,
and, like, how he was just, like, clapping and waving to the
yeah,
fans, and, like, he's
smiling.
trying to deal with it.
Yeah,
He's trying to
yeah.
deal with it, but man, I guarantee you, once he got in that locker room and, you
Started to
know,
calm down a little bit.
boy, that hurt.
Oh
You
yeah,
know he was in pain.
multiple
But
ligaments torn, dislocation of the knee. Ah,
yeah,
that, but hopefully you get better. Hill. Hopefully, you can come back and continue playing at some point, if that is something you want to do. But I also have to give a shout out. We had a new tight end, Darren Waller. He did play in the league before. I think he played for the
mhm.
Raiders.
Raiders, yep.
This was his debut for the Dolphins. Had 3 catches for 27 yards and 2 touchdowns, and one of his catches was a toe tap at the back of the end zone, I believe. He had to get both of his feet down. Looked good for a debut, and he's been out of the league for a little while, also. So that is also nice to see that yes, Hill is out, but that gives us another set of hands uh, moving forward. So I hope that the Dolphins can continue to build off of what happened. I mean, with the win there on Monday night, they have the Panthers this week, but it is there at Bank of America Stadium. I think we could get it done. I think that we could go into Charlotte and get the dub there, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Now, Justin,
We'll see.
let's hear it. Let's hear it.
I I used to be so excited to come home from church on Sunday and sit down and watch the Titans. I get right in my recliner, man. I get me some food, maybe a pizza or something. And anymore, after I get through the first half, I end up taking a Sunday nap instead. And I'll tell you, like, I started off watching the game against Houston,
Mhm.
and we go into the half scoreless, and I fell asleep. I wake up and the game's over. I'm like, "Oh, crap." Let me check the score. What happened? We remained
Scoreless.
scoreless. I was like, "There's no way we didn't put up a single point against an 0-3 team also." Like, how did that Brian Callahan is still employed, which is even more mind-boggling to me. He is 3-18 at this point.
That's his
3 and
record?
18 with us, yes.
No way. I didn't
3
know it
and
was I didn't
18.
know it was that bad.
Yes, it's
Dude,
terrible,
he's gotta
and, like,
go. I would be upset
everyone's
too.
asking for it.
Mhm.
Like, if you type his name in on Google, like, you see all the different news stories. You've got Sports Center on there saying stuff. You've got all these different ones saying how his hot seat is almost burnt to a crisp.
Yeah. He's on fire
Like,
right now.
and listen, I know a lot needs done, okay? And I know he's not the only one to blame for the disaster in Nashville right now.
Mhm.
But firing him is a great starting point.
Mhm.
It is a great way to let the fans know, hey, we know you guys aren't happy, and we're going to fix things.
Yeah.
Especially when the guy is 3-18. Um, Amy Adams, who is the Titans owner, I think the only thing I can imagine, the only reason I can imagine she will not fire him yet is because she doesn't want people to know that she made the wrong business decision in hiring him. She was so excited to bring him in and he replaced Vrabel, but it's like if you don't make that call when he has the team shut out in Houston, okay, her dad, man, he's turning in his grave.
Yeah.
That was always like the game that was circled when her dad was the owner. You beat Houston. Like I really feel, and from things I've heard, that was one of the most important games to him,
Yeah.
was to make sure when he went to Houston, the old team beat the new one. And to be shut out, not fire this man right after the game. And I thought for sure I'd wake up that next morning and I'd see the notification. She's going to be embarrassed whether she fires him now or
Yeah.
when Mike Vrabel comes to town with New England in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
Because, dude, Vrabel's got this game circled,
oh, absolutely. And he's coming to destroy. You know what I
and he
mean?
will. I
So
really believe
yeah.
he will.
So I mean, if I was
Um,
her, like, you got to get him out now. You have a new quarterback. Let's build around him. I think that he is promising. I think that Ward is promising for the Titans. Get a quarterback, get a coach that is good with quarterbacks, and let's do it. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. Get him out of there.
there are talks of, of course, Gruden.
Yep.
I'd love to have Gruden. There are even talks, though, as of recent, of McCarthy coming
Okay.
in.
Okay.
And remember, now he was fired from Dallas,
Hmm.
but I I don't want a guy coming in to be a brand new head coach. Like I want a guy to
A
come
vet.
in that has experience.
Yeah.
That's what I want. They've got this new stadium coming,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that is very enticing for coaches to want to come in. You've got a brand new quarterback who is super talented. You get a brand new stadium on the horizon.
Yep.
Um, you know, Cam Ward is he's slow. I saw a graphic on social media that he's slow out of the gate. Number one overall quarterbacks that were slow out of the gate. He was on there. Burrow was on there. Um, Trevor Lawrence was on there. Kyler Murray was on there. And I'm not saying that Cam Ward is Joe Burrow right now,
Mm-hmm.
but there is potential there. and we have to get. I've been saying it every week we've done this. We have to get that fixed before it ends up being a Bryce Young situation in Carolina, stuck in the mud.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know. I honestly don't know if Bryce Young will ever be able to do anything until he gets out of Carolina,
yep.
and I fear that's going to happen to Cam Ward. But man, like people, I sent you that one video clip, that one Titans
I did.
fan. He's like, he's yelling. He's like, he has to be gone
Oh
tomorrow,
yeah, dude.
and like that's all of us right now. Um,
My
but
wife,
yeah,
I played that, and my wife was sitting across from me, and she goes, "Who is that?" I said, "A Titans fan."
yes, yeah, but no, man, it's 3-18 is I
You,
can't. I'm not even playing when I say this. I can't remember the last time we won a game. I
yeah,
can't.
yeah,
And
three
I
and
know a lot of
18,
people
man.
a lot of people criticized Will Levis last season. I think it has to do with the coaching staff. I Will Levis was looking really good um under Vrabel, even though we were struggling that last year with Vrabel. He still showed potential, and I'm not I'm not seeing much of anything other than the only highlight that I will say that I really liked from this Texans Titans game was that Jeffrey Simmons sack I sent you.
Hmm.
Like as soon as the snap happened,
Yeah, he was
he
on him.
was on the
Yeah.
quarterback. He barely had time to turn around to do a handoff, but
So
Jeffrey Simmons by far like the best player that we have on defense. But man, it's a dumpster fire there in Nashville.
yeah, and it really is. And your last win was week 12 of last year, and it was on the road against the Texans.
Oh, okay.
You guys won 32-27 in that game.
So if that was our last win,
Hmm.
okay,
That was week 12.
think about how long it's been since they've got a home win. These people that are paying money to come and see them, and they can't even win a game for them.
Yeah, no, November 3rd last year, which was week
We are
9.
coming up on a year.
Yes, week 9, Sunday, November 3rd, you all beat the Patriots in overtime, 20-17.
I don't even remember that. I'll be honest. I don't have any recollection of that game at all.
That was your only home win last year,
Yeah,
because
it's t-
your other win was on the road against the Dolphins in week 4, because the Dolphins were a dumpster fire last year, and they are this year too. So, but yeah, that's wild. 3-18, he's got to go. You've got 20
he
games
has
under your
to.
belt, and you are currently on a, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 game losing streak as of now.
My God,
Like something, yeah, 10 game losing streak. He's got to go. This is
he's
a
got to.
business, man. You're going to start lose. You're probably already losing money on tickets. Like you said, it's been a few years since you've bought any apparel or anything. You're going to start, like, I know that it's not a huge deal. Like, people are still going to buy and everything, but
Oh yeah,
like, you are getting ready to come up, like you said, new stadiums being built and everything. You've got to get these fans hyped. Give these fans something to cheer for going into that new stadium. And a guy with a 3-18 record for you just isn't going to do it.
I mean, man, I consider myself a diehard. Like
Yeah,
I
you
watch
are.
the Titans. I buy the stuff, but like after a while, like it doesn't make you not a diehard anymore if you can just be upfront and honest and be like, "Hey, I'm not happy with the product."
Hmm.
Like, and I see other Titans fans that are like, "No, I love my Titans, win or lose," and it's like you haven't been around long enough, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to be frustrated. And it's okay to want better for something that you put a lot of time and money into,
Yep.
and that's where I am. Like, I love where we're going with Cam Ward, but man, this direction, this like I said, Callahan's not the full blame, but he has to be the starting
Yeah.
point to let your fans know we're making a change.
We hear
We
you.
got to do
Yep.
something. Yes,
I
that's
mean,
it. Yep.
we've been like I've known you forever since we were kids, but we weren't really friends until what 2011. And dude, you
Hmm.
always had Titan stuff on in 2011. So
Yep.
yeah, I mean that still shows that to me you're still a diehard, even though you take that Sunday nap because your your team is that boring. I mean that's the same.
They're
I'm
not fun to watch.
yeah,
They're
it's
just
just
not.
it's boring to watch. You have
I mean,
nothing to
when
get excited for.
it's 3 and out every single
Hmm.
possession, like there's nothing to get excited for. Or when there's, the penalties have been insane for the Titans this year, and it is so like they can't even get any momentum going. There's a deep pass down the field. Guess what? It's coming back because there was a hold. And it's just stop and start. And you're just never getting anywhere. One step forward, two steps back.
Yeah. I mean that's kind of I mean I know that this is we're talking the Titans and stuff, but that's what happened to the Jets. I think the Jets could have beat Miami there Monday night, but they literally shot themselves in the foot multiple times with penalties. Just no discipline. No discipline at all, and it sounds like that's something that the Titans are also struggling with on top of a
Hmm.
lot of other things. So
We'll see.
yeah. I hope it starts to turn around, but they need to get rid of him. 3-18. That's not good enough in the NFL.
No.
So you got anything else? Which before we go, what
Hmm.
what do you think is going to be the best game of Week 5
Out of these ones we've picked,
out of any of them?
ooh, um, I would probably go. Let me pull them up here just to make sure I'm not missing any. Because the Thursday night game we picked, or no, we didn't pick Thursday.
No, which
That
that
was
one's going to
the
be
49ers,
49ers
and
and the Rams.
that could be a pretty good one. But I think I'm gonna have to go. Hmm. I think I'm gonna go with the Broncos and the Eagles.
I think that's going to be a great game. I would say if out of the games that we didn't pick, that one is going to be a
Yeah,
good one. I still think the Bucs and the Seahawks is going to be a good one too.
that will too, because that has the potential to go either way.
Yeah.
And those are the games, that always do. They're going to be the better ones. Like I'm looking at other ones that maybe we haven't picked here, like the Jets and the Cowboys. That just doesn't sound like a good matchup to
Yeah.
me. Anything the Bengals are doing right now does not sound like a good matchup to
Oh,
me.
come on. We know that you love Browning and you think he is the next best quarterback.
I just, dude, they're
Yeah.
playing the
It's
Lions this week. Can you imagine?
the Lions
Like,
put up 52 on the Bears and the Bears are pretty decent. I mean, are we going to say the Lions might put up 100 points on
watch us be saying this, and
them?
here somehow Cincinnati beats them.
And Browning throws like 5 touchdowns or something. Oh, that would be something. But
Yeah.
all right, tell us down below what your favorite game of the week is, what your predictions are of the games. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you like the content, and we will see you for the next video.